What's up, YouTube? Jeff, your Style O.G. And on today's video, we're going to discuss 8 facts about erectile dysfunction every guy needs to know about. If you're new to the channel, we release a new video every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern, discussing various men's lifestyle topics such as style, grooming, and dating. I invite you to subscribe, tap the notification bell, and join us. And to my returning friends like Sean Hooks, salute. Now, without a doubt, erectile dysfunction is a very embarrassing and frustrating condition to have to deal with. And it's a problem most men will encounter in some form or fashion throughout their lives. But just like any other problem or condition, you're much better able to deal with it if you have the information and facts about it. On today's video, we're going to discuss both some facts and some myths about erectile dysfunction. And hopefully you'll feel better armed to deal with the condition whenever it happens in your life. So without any further delay, let's hop right into it. Now, first up on the list of 8 facts every guy needs to know about erectile dysfunction is a very important one. You need to keep in mind that ED can be brought about by lifestyle choices. Now, a lot of guys, when it comes to ED, think, I just had bad luck. I lost the genetic lottery, or this is just a function of me getting older. Now, while those two things might play a part, your lifestyle choices can be even more devastating. Take, for example, if you're not working out and you're overweight. How you achieve an erection is blood flow to your penis. When you're overweight, the blood flow to your entire body, and specifically to your penis, decreases, thus much more likely leading to ED. Another lifestyle choice that can be a culprit is drinking alcohol. Alcohol also decreases blood flow. Drinking alcohol at the moment can cause temporary ED, but chronic alcohol use can lead to permanent erectile dysfunction. And erectile dysfunction can also be brought about by recreational drug use. Yes, including marijuana. And another lifestyle choice you want to pay attention to, not getting the proper amount of sleep. Poor sleep habits can lead to poor circulation and decreased testosterone. So when it comes to making sure you're in the best position not to suffer from erectile dysfunction, make sure you pay attention to your lifestyle choices. Now, with our first fact, we touched a little bit on how a lot of guys associate erectile dysfunction with getting older. Now, while it is true that it is much more common in older guys, I need you to understand that erectile dysfunction is not necessarily an age thing. Yes, ED can affect younger men. It might surprise you to know that erectile dysfunction is much more common in younger men than you think. 26% of men under the age of 40 experience some form of erectile dysfunction. And over half of those younger guys experience severe erectile dysfunction. And as we said earlier, a lot of this can be traced to lifestyle choices. Younger guys tend to smoke more and indulge in recreational drugs more, thus leading to erectile dysfunction. But some other reasons younger guys suffer from ED: performance anxiety, stress, and depression. So although it's much more commonly associated with older guys, it is true that many younger men suffer from erectile dysfunction. Now, without a doubt, erectile dysfunction is a very frustrating and embarrassing condition to deal with. Many men blame themselves and find it very difficult to talk about. If this sounds like you, I highly recommend you talk to the good people at today's video sponsor, Roman. Roman is a digital health clinic for men. It's a platform that allows you to be evaluated for, diagnosed, and receive treatment for erectile dysfunction, all from the comfort and privacy of your very own home. Erectile dysfunction is much more common than you may think. 52% of men will experience some form of ED throughout their lifetimes, meaning more people will deal with erectile dysfunction than those that won't. It's a new year, and with that being so, many of us make resolutions. I challenge you to make a resolution to improve your sex life in 2022. Treating erectile dysfunction is very convenient when you work with Roman. All you have to do is go to getroman.com/style and complete a free online visit. Roman will connect you with a licensed U.S. healthcare professional who will work directly with you to come up with a treatment plan specifically for your ED. Roman can provide you with effective FDA-approved treatment for ED. But this treatment is only available after you gained a prescription by their licensed U.S. healthcare professionals after an evaluation. Now, not only do Roman sponsor today's video, they've got a special offer for the Style O.G family. Once you complete your online visit, and if approved, you'll get $15 off your first month's treatment for ED. So if you're dealing with erectile dysfunction and want to kick off the new year by improving your sex life, make sure you hit that link in the description and get started with treating your ED with Roman. Now, throughout today's video, we've been discussing the physical issues that can lead to ED. And while it is true that the vast majority of cases are brought about by physical issues, it's also very important to keep in mind that erectile dysfunction can be brought about by mental issues. Take, for example, anxiety. When you deal with anxiety, you have increased blood pressure, increased heart rate, and increased fatigue, all which can lead to ED. Another issue can be depression. If you're suffering from depression, it can be a chemical imbalance that can lead to decreased sex drive and decreased sexual function. And there's also stress. When your body is stressed out, it's in fight or flight mode. It will prioritize the production of cortisol. This cortisol does fight stress, but your body will deprioritize your sexual hormones. That can also lead to poor sexual performance. Not to mention what I like to call the performance anxiety cycle. If you have performance anxiety, it can lead to ED. ED can lead to performance anxiety. So yes, while it is true, the main causes of ED are physical issues, when trying to get to the bottom of it, don't ignore possible mental causes. Now, when it comes to dealing with ED, naturally a lot of guys start thinking, hey, maybe I have low testosterone. But what I want to let you know today is testosterone has a very complex relationship when it comes to ED. Here's what I mean. Although in some cases low testosterone can lead to erectile dysfunction, in the vast majority of cases, there's no direct relation. Instead, low testosterone could be leading to low sex drive. If you have low sex drive, no erection. Just because you have a low sex drive doesn't mean you have ED. See what I mean? Very complex. That's why when it comes to dealing with ED, you may want to take a multifaceted approach. Yes, it is worth investigating if you have low testosterone, but also make sure you're paying attention to the other causes we talked about in today's video, because you don't want to confuse low sex drive that's caused by testosterone with erectile dysfunction. Now, one of the things you want to keep in mind when dealing with erectile dysfunction, or even trying to figure out if you have it, is to realize that ED can vary in its presentation. Here's what I mean. How ED looks in you may appear differently in another guy. For some guys, they may be dealing with what a lot of guys think about when it comes to ED. They just can't get it up. But also a guy who can get it up but can't maintain an erection, he can be dealing with ED as well. Also, you may be dealing with erectile dysfunction if yes, you can achieve an erection, but you can't maintain it long enough to actually have sex. Another way ED can present itself, your erection may come and go during a sex session. And another way ED can present itself, yes, you can achieve an erection, but it's not firm enough to achieve penetration. So when dealing with ED, you want to keep in mind it may present itself in various ways. Next up on the list of facts about erectile dysfunction is a very important one. It's the fact that ED could be a sign of a more serious underlying health condition. Now, ED itself in general isn't dangerous, but it could be a warning sign that something dangerous is going on with you. When you have an erection, what occurs is that blood flow rushes to your penis. If you're having difficulty achieving an erection, it could be a signal of poor circulation throughout your body. You may have a serious circulatory condition that may lead to a heart attack or stroke. Other conditions that are commonly seen with guys suffering from ED, type 2 diabetes, and chronic kidney disease. It may also be a sign of hardening arteries or a signal of complications from prostate or bladder surgery. So although ED is a very frustrating problem, you may want to talk to a doctor. It could be the sign of a more serious health condition. And I specifically said talk to your doctor for a reason. That's because attempting to treat erectile dysfunction on your own can be dangerous. Now, I know a lot of guys, when dealing with health conditions, like to get their Google on or do their own research and try to treat it themselves. You know, maybe take some supplements. The problem with that is supplements can be very dangerous. Over 1/3 of online supplements have been found to have potentially harmful ingredients or mislabeled ingredients. Also, playing your own doctor can lead to another situation. Supplements can have side effects or they can have dangerous interactions with already prescribed drugs you may be taking. Now, realizing you're dealing with ED and wanting to get help for it, that's a great thing. But don't take it in your own hands. Trying to treat ED on your own can be very dangerous. Now, next up, I want to share with you something that's very important. When it comes to erectile dysfunction, yes, it can feel very isolating, but you need to know you're not dealing with ED by yourself. It doesn't only affect you, it affects your partner as well. Yes, dealing with erectile dysfunction is very embarrassing, but you need to realize you need to talk to your partner about it. You see, not only could you be blaming yourself, she may also feel like it's her fault. She may think she just doesn't turn you on. So just like it is with a lot of intimate and sex issues, you need to swallow your pride. Communicate with your partner. The most important thing to do, have a frank and honest conversation about what you're dealing with. You'll be surprised. If you have a good woman, she'll be empathetic. She'll want to be part of the solution. One of the great things about being in a relationship, you have a support system. As embarrassing and isolating as ED is, you can use her support. Just like I hammer home with every intimate topic, it's very important to communicate. Yes, erectile dysfunction can feel very isolating, but you have to remember, you're not going through it by yourself. Now, just as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, erectile dysfunction can be very frustrating, embarrassing, and isolating. But just like any other problem, the more information you have, the better equipped you'll be to solving that problem. So make sure if you're dealing with erectile dysfunction, pay attention to the facts and the myths we discussed in today's video. You'll be in a much better position to deal with your erectile dysfunction.